If you didn't know, the universe was around a very long time ago. It's so old that it just happened to come into existence around 13.77 billion years ago. During that time, it has had plenty of time to grow and change into what we see now. Even though it's amazing that we can see so far. This is because light can only travel 186,000 miles per second. So we can see how things looked billions of years ago, when the light from them first left their source. And that light shows us things that are so old they are hard to believe. Number 8. A mind-bendingly gigantic and old quasar. The quasar, called J0313-1806, is a star in the Astronomy Hall of Fame because of how big and old it is. It is 13.03 billion light-years away, and even at this early point, it's a monster. At the time, the universe was only 5% as old as it is now, but the quasar-powered black hole was already as big as 1.6 billion suns. That's a crazy amount, and it's easy to see why quasars often shine brighter than the whole galaxies around them. The quasar in question is, or was, active, sending out super-hot gases at 1/5 the speed of light. It is also changing its surroundings. Astronomers have found that the home galaxy is making a lot of stars. But the black hole is too big and too young to have been fed by stars, or made by a star cluster that fell apart. Instead, if it was made from big chunks of cold hydrogen gas that fell straight into a black hole, it would have been a nasty baby black hole with a mass of 10,000 stars. Number 7. A galaxy that seemingly skipped billions of years of evolution. Every once in a while, a view of the universe throws off the usual way of thinking about it. One of these is the ALMA J08174.86 plus 135138.2 galaxy. To put it simply, it is more than 12 billion light-years away and so incredibly old. But it's too big and organized for such a large number of babies. Around this time, less than 2 billion years after the Big Bang, about 90% of early galaxies were train wrecks, or messy groups of gas and dust. But our sweet ALMA J081740.86 plus 135138.2 already had a wonderful spinning disk and was the same size as our Milky Way, which is 100,000 light-years wide. Also, at 70 to 80 billion solar masses, it's pretty big for an old galaxy with a weak glow. When the universe was only 1/10 of its present age, when the example was found, it was a surprise to find something so big. Most galaxies take billions of years to get going and then settle down, giving the gas time to cool and build structures like the Milky Way. But if cold gas moves along dark matter strands like cars on a highway, this whole billion-year-long process could be skipped, and beautiful spiral galaxies could form sooner. Number 6. The early universe wasn't so empty. About 300,000 years after the Big Bang, an opaque fog of neutral hydrogen covered the whole universe. This fog stopped light and made the new universe invisible. It wasn't known until the first stars and planets burst and lit up in the hydrogen by making it electrically charged. This took away the fog. Scientists can look back over 13 billion years to find out what happened. A better method of gravity lensing showed that the universe was between 500 million and 1 billion years old. Even though they didn't find their main goal, the researchers did find population 3 stars, which are the first stars to be born. But they found an amazing number of galaxies that are already in the process of forming. Hubble has seen things that are up to 100 times fainter and less massive than anything else ever found. This means that the first stars were made a lot earlier than what was thought before. And it only took 500 million years after the Big Bang for a group of galaxies with a lot of stars to start ionizing the neutral, non-ionized hydrogen in the dark, murky space. Number 5. The oldest galaxies are right here. You don't have to sift through a lot of space to find the oldest galaxies in the universe. They're within cosmic walking distance. Some of the smallest dwarf galaxies around the Milky Way, like Segue 1, Boots 1, Tucana 2, and Ursa Major 1, are more than 13 billion years old. This puts the satellite galaxies at the beginning of the universe, which makes them some of the very first galaxies, among the ones that ended the cosmic dark ages. These findings back up the lambda cold dark matter model, which says that particles of dark matter, whatever they are, drive the expansion of the universe. And they started doing this more than 13 billion years ago, when groups of dark matter caused bits of matter to gather and build all the structures we see today through their gravitational pull. Number 4. The mysteriously ancient galactic disk. DLA 0817G, which is also called the Wolf Disk, stands out. When it was around 1.5 billion years old, a rotating disk galaxy spinning at 170 miles per second shook up ideas about how galaxies form. Astronomers thought that disks like these took much longer to form in galaxies like these. And by significantly longer, we mean almost 6 billion years, which is about half of how old the universe is now. But like other lucky finds, DLA 0817G makes it easy to throw out theories made by people. Number 3. Quasars terrorized a young universe. Astronomers went to the edge of the universe, which is more than 13 billion light-years away, and found a bunch of quasars. That was so long ago and hard to imagine that the people who lived there never had to worry about dust, because the stars didn't have enough time to send out clouds of molecules that clump together to form cosmic dust. J005-006 and its partner J0303-0019 are the first quasars to be found in the early universe. They are part of the group of quasars that are the furthest away. They started to show up in a surprising number less than a billion years after the Big Bang. These 21 quasars are from the early universe. They are powered by black holes that are as big as 100 million suns. Astronomers think that these quasars are from the first generation, because they don't have any dust around them. Still, these things are so crazy active, and modern astronomy is so accurate that scientists can see them literally all over the universe. Number 2. A star nearly as old as existence itself. J1808-2002-51043778b is 13.5 billion years old, which is a very long time. That is almost as old as the universe itself, and it will keep burning for trillions of years, which is a lot longer than the age of the universe right now. A big surprise is that it was found in the Milky Way, not in the far reaches of space. Another surprise is that it is in our galaxy's thin disk, close to where the Sun is. But unlike good old Sol, this star with the horrible name is so old that it might be only one generation away from the first stars that ever lit up the darkness. Early stars did not have many metals. Metals were made later, when their subatomic parts were smashed together by the force of star cores or supernova. Instead of metals, these old stars were made up of hydrogen, helium, and lithium. Number 1. A timeless cosmic relic. NGC 1277 is a galaxy that is one of a kind. It's an old soul, a piece of what galaxies were like when the universe was young. It is resistant to change, like many dinosaurs, and has stayed pretty much the same for the past 10 billion years. It is one of about 1,000 galaxies moving around the Perseus cluster, which is about 240 million light-years away, even though these 1 in 1,000 relics are generally found much, much further away. It is almost totally made up of old stars that were born 10 billion years ago and are now very old. These used to be bright and blue, but now they are getting old and red while the universe sleeps. Even though it is only a fifth as big as our Milky Way, NGC 1277 has twice as many stars. The future looks bad for NGC 1277. This group of dead stars is moving through space at a speed of 2 million miles per hour. That's probably too fast for it to merge with other galaxies or siphon gas from star formations to stay living. Thanks for watching this video.